The Choklahoma City Thunder. Wow. We knew this was going to happen. And I'm actually impressed because in that first half, the Thunder, they came out and they played the way that they should always play. They were passing the ball, getting good looks. The only guy that was out of control was Westbrook. He's always out of control. I don't think Westbrook can play if he's not out of control. But they were making the extra pass. Steven Adams was getting touches in the paint. They were slashing. They were playing good, but in that second half, when a couple of threes went in, that strategy went right out the window, right out the door. But really, this video is about Kevin Durant and what he needs to do to win a championship, because the way that he's losing, he's always losing in the same way. And it's getting embarrassing now because he's been in the league for so long. You would think that he would work on this and just solidify his legacy for good and just start winning championships. He needs easy baskets. Too many games and too many series. What do they say? They say things like Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant combined for 15 of 50 shooting, or some crazy, ridiculous number. And that happens a lot to Durant. He's a great offensive player. He can shoot threes, he can shoot mids, he can slash, he can do layups. But he has those games. He'll have 2 to 3 of them in a 7-game series where he's just not shooting well. And that's because he's taking tough shots. And there's no reason for Kevin Durant to take tough shots because he's practically unguardable. He's listed at 6'9", but we know he's at least 6'10", 6'11". He might even be a 7-footer. Because on Team USA, when he was standing up next to Tyson Chandler, he was almost as tall as Tyson Chandler, maybe even as tall. Who knows? Kevin Durant needs to develop the Michael Jordan post fadeaway. He would be unguardable, and this is the scenario that happens every single year, and you see this all the time. So if you remember, was it last year? It was in the last 2 years or so. They were playing against the Los Angeles Clippers. And if you remember, in the fourth quarter, Doc Rivers put Chris Paul on Kevin Durant. And they did that so Durant could not drive to the basket because he kept driving around his defender. So they would put Chris Paul on him, and then they would bring the double team. CP3 is 6 foot, and Durant is at least 6'9". That's a 9-inch advantage. All he has to do is go in the post, catch the ball, and fade or do a hook shot, and it's money. Chris Paul, there's nothing that he can do to defend the shot. He can't contest it. He's too short. But yet, what does Kevin Durant do? He catches the ball in the elbow area, actually above the elbow area, if you remember. Sometimes he would position himself at the three-point line, and then it's so easy for the Clippers to bring the double team because he's so high up, he's so far away from the basket. And then what happened? Kevin Durant would turn the ball over in the post. And it happened over and over again in the fourth quarter, and they lose. And this is something that's been happening the last few years to Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it even happened in this series. In game 6 of this series, Kevin Durant did the same thing. He was on the wing. He was above the elbow, catching the ball. They bring the double team, and then Durant throws it and turns it over. It's a fast break, and then it's a 3 for the Golden State Warriors. Andre Iguodala is 6'6", so when he's defending Durant, that's at least 3 inches of an advantage for Durant. So you don't need to try to dribble around. You don't need to do screens. All you need to do is go down on the block, in between the block and the elbow. That's where you catch the ball. That spot on the court is so difficult to bring a double team. You have so many options, so many passing angles. This is what Michael Jordan would do. And you don't even need strength. Durant doesn't even need to bulk up or anything. He's too tall. If you put somebody like Iggy on him, he can do a fade, he can do a hook shot from that area, or he can make the easy pass, find cutters, find three-point shooters. He would dominate the game, and it doesn't matter what team they go up against. It doesn't matter what team he's on. They would win, and they would win and win and win. 95% of the guys that defend Durant are too short to defend Durant, so he would just demolish them. And then if you put a taller guy on him, you put a 6'8", 9, or 10 guy on him, then let him dance on the perimeter. Go run off screens, pop threes, pop mids, do some crossovers, run pick and rolls if you have a taller guy on you, because you're going to be faster than that guy. You're faster. This is domination. This is actually unfair. He needs to add this post fadeaway. And if you remember, Michael Jordan, that post fadeaway was so deadly. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you remember, Michael Jordan came back on the Wizards. He was 40 something years old or 40. I don't remember how old he was. But remember in the All-Star game when he was going up against Shawn Marion, and Shawn Marion is actually taller than him. Shawn Marion is 6'7". And yet here's this old Michael Jordan, this washed up Washington Wizards Michael Jordan doing fadeaways in the clutch on Shawn Marion, making these fadeaways, and he's old. For the rest of Kevin Durant's career, he could be a scoring machine in this post if he would develop this post move. You have to add that to your collection of moves. You can't go these games where you're only scoring 20 points. You've got to drop 30, 40 points a game in the playoffs and dominate the league and win championships. You are too tall, too talented, too skilled to only score 20-something points and shoot these bad percentages, taking bad shots. If you want to see this in action, search up Michael Jordan playoffs right now on YouTube. You'll see clips when people bring double teams from the paint. He fades to the baseline. When you bring the double team to the baseline, he fades to the paint. He even had this crazy dunk on Patrick Ewing when he went through the entire Knicks team. It was crazy. He shook off the whole Knicks team from the post, came back, and then dunked on Patrick Ewing. And you know what else you need to do, Kevin Durant? While you're practicing that in the offseason, you need to make a Vine. I need you to get on Vine one time. Something simple. You're in your car and bump that Lil B for 6 seconds. Let that Lil B fly for 6 seconds. He will lift the curse next season. You come back with that Michael Jordan post fadeaway and you win the championship next year. We will never hear the commentators, the analysts talk about Kevin Durant shooting 12 of 30 and all these weird, ridiculous numbers. No, you will be dominating the league offensively. Your team will be scoring so easily. It'll be so easy for you. And that's all you gotta do. Wow, another turnover for Cotton. How many turnovers is that? Oh my God. Oh, what a pass.
That's good.
Look at that sexy Smoove move. The no look behind the back with defenders in the area, just teasing, trolling, just daring them to reach.